Roster moves could be on the horizon for the New York Knicks, and they are officially allowed to have a player of veteran status put pen to paper to join the big league New York Knicks. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I'm your host, Marshall Green. The Knicks did make some roster moves yesterday to open up a pathway for them to add a new player. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel because when the Knicks do sign a player, we're going to get you guys a video out as soon as possible. We put out free videos every single day on the latest news and rumors, and our job is to inform and entertain. And we're on our way to 61,000 subscribers. Thank you to everybody that has subscribed to the channel. If you haven't yet, change it. Be one of the 453 people that help us reach our goal of 61K. You're watching Knicks Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for rolling by. Let's start with the news of the day. The New York Knicks have terminated the contracts of Jacob Toppin. They are also moving on from the veteran sharpshooter Matt Ryan. Both of these players were on two-way contracts, so they could refill those spots with two more players of G League status, and they can also go out and officially have someone put pen to paper to join this team to take that 15th open roster spot. The New York Knicks were not able to sign someone to that spot prior to March 1st because of where they are at when it comes to the salary cap. The New York Knicks are hard capped by that second apron, and the prorated value of that veteran player's contract was not low enough to squeeze in below that second apron until March 1st, and it sounds like a deal could be coming, and the New York Knicks already have their eyes on a potential player. Stephen Bondy of the New York Post writing this. According to sources, the Knicks have had contact with at least two G League prospects, veteran wing T.J. Warren and center Moses Brown, about a potential call-up. But there were no commitments to either as of Friday. To my knowledge, the New York Knicks would be unable to sign both Moses Brown and T.J. Warren, since both of these gentlemen have done more than 4 years of service in the National Basketball Association. They are ineligible to sign two-way contracts, meaning they would have to sign either a 10-day contract or they would have to be a player that signs a contract for the remainder of the season. The Knicks could go out and sign two more players to two-way deals, but unfortunately, to my knowledge, Brown and Warren do not fall within that protocol. So my question to you, before I give you my thoughts on who that player should be, who do you think it should be? Pick one to sign. Take the seat of Leon Rose. Type MB for Moses Brown, or type TJ for TJ Warren. All righty, I want to jump into really the pros and cons of signing one of these players. We're going to start with TJ Warren, a player that has been with the Westchester Knicks all season long, and he has done a heck of a job with them. He's really been a player that I thought has reinvented himself in this league. He's played in 32 games for this squad, the Westchester Knicks, and he's playing 36.1 minutes per game, and he has had great success. He's been able to do what he's always done, which is fill up the stat sheet. 24.8 points per game, 6.3 rebounds, 48.7% from the field, and 36.2% from three. The G League is different than the NBA, no doubt about it, but TJ Warren has had plenty of experience and plenty of success in the NBA before. So I would not be shocked, and honestly, I would expect him to go from the G League to the NBA and still put up good results. He hasn't played all that much in the NBA as of late. Didn't play at all in 2021, 2022 due to an injury. Then 2022 to 2023, he played in 42 games, averaged just 7.5 points per game, but did shoot better than 48.9% from three. And then last year played in just 11 games as well. This is someone, though, that's had a lot of success in this league. Even one point in his NBA career, he was known as a guy that can go out and get you 15 points off the bench. He can go off for 20 points in a game. And from the 2016 season to the 2021 season, over 292 games, he averaged 16.8 points per game, gave you 4.4 boards, shot better than 50% from the field, and better than 36% from three. And when you think of TJ Warren, you probably think of a veteran, right? And he is, but he's only 31 years old, so there's still a lot of tread left on the tires. And I'll never forget what we saw in the bubble from TJ Warren back in 2020. An amazing performance. He was the storyline of the bubble, averaging nearly 27 points per game on elite efficiency, over 54% from the deck, and shooting a red-hot 47.5% from downtown. Can he be that guy for the Knicks? No, I'm not expecting T.J. Warren to come in and average 27 points per game. Some things I am expecting if he does put pen to paper to join this team is be a veteran off the bench. Be someone that can help a young guy on this team. Take Pacome Dadier under your wing and just be a bucket getter. When your number is called, go out and do some of the little things. Go out and get some buckets off the bench. And he also gives you some wing depth as well. You're going to need some wing depth behind OG Anunoby, Mikal Bridges, and Josh Hart, because outside of them, you don't really have any wings on this roster. And I think Warren, he could fill that role. You could also look at a guy like Moses Brown, who is a free agent at this moment. He was recently released. I don't know if released is the right word, to a 10-day contract with the Dallas Mavericks. They are unable to sign him to another 10-day contract at this moment due to the beautiful new CBA that we all love so much. Legit size at 7'2", 245 pounds. He's played in over 163 games in his NBA career, and the numbers are what they are: 5 points and 5 rebounds. He's played in 9 games with the Indiana Pacers this year, and he played with 4 games with the Dallas Mavericks. And he had some nice games for Indy, but overall the numbers are a little bit overwhelming. The complete opposite, though, with the Dallas Mavericks. In 4 games with the Mavs, he averaged 11.8 points per game, 7.8 rebounds, 2 offensive boards a game, nearly a full block a night, shooting better than 72.4% from the deck. In the last 2 games of his 10-day contract, he was awesome. 20 points, 18 rebounds, 18 points, and 9 rebounds. And with some injuries to the New York Knicks front court, it could make some sense. Some reasons to sign him: he gives you legit size at 7'2". He gives you some center depth right now, which, to be honest with you, you're a little bit shaky with. You got Karl Anthony Towns. Mitchell Robinson is back. Knicks 2-0 with him. But as we know, Ariel Hukporti is hurt. And maybe you want another center to add some depth, that adds some size. It could be an extremely strong rebounder and a lob threat and someone that could play well out of the dunker spot. Mitchell Robinson is the only backup center on this roster at this moment. I really think the Knicks view Precious Achiuwa more as a 4, and I think with Robinson being inserted in the starting lineup, we may see a little bit less and less of Mr. Precious Achiuwa, who I think is a good player, just a wonky fit at this moment, and really in the modern-day NBA because he's a 4, and he doesn't have much offensive game to where he could stretch the floor and make the defense stay honest. The question becomes of, do we want to go out and sign Moses Brown, or do we want to go out and sign T.J. Warren? The first question you got to ask yourself is, how soon is Ariel Hukporti got to get back out there and get ready to go? He underwent surgery on that torn meniscus. The timeline was reported at 4 to 6 weeks. But as we know, and if you're a subscriber of this channel, we don't ever trust the New York Knicks medical staff. So it could be a little bit longer than that. If I was the Knicks, I would be trying to think about it like this. Is there a way that you could sign Moses Brown to a 10-day contract, maybe a second 10-day contract, and then when a guy like Ariel Hukporti gets healthy, you could then bring T.J. Warren in to be your wing off the bench, and then your center depth includes Karl Anthony Towns, Mitchell Robinson, and Ariel Hukporti, and then your bench looks like Miles McBride, T.J. Warren, Landry Shaman, and Campaign to go along with Precious and Mitch. And that is more than formidable enough to prepare and have some nice success in the playoffs. I do think good cases could be made for both of these players. You need a big. You could go out and you get Moses Brown. You could need another wing to maybe be just an innings eater. So OG Anunoby doesn't have to play 42 minutes, and Josh Hart doesn't have to play 42 minutes. And Mikal Bridges, who got benched in the fourth quarter yesterday, did not play in overtime, doesn't have to play 42 minutes. It's going to be interesting to see. We'll talk about more about this on the other side, as well as some other free agent targets. But make sure you are hooked up with our Knicks Now by Chat Sports gear. Go to chatsports.com/realknicks and get your Knicks Now t-shirt today. We've got the blue one, we've got the black one, and we're rolling them out for the rest of the season as we get rolling into the 2025 NBA playoffs. A lot of you guys asked me, Marsh, we need gear, we need merch. Well, we got some. Go check it out. The bosses told me we can't get more merch until we sell out of these. So they said, not me. Chatsports.com/realknicks. Get your shirt today. You could see a guy like Chuma Okeke, who is back on the Westchester Knicks, a defensive-minded, versatile wing off the bench, has struggled in the NBA to shoot the basketball, but his ability to guard multiple positions, get out and run in transition, and just use his length to be a menace on the defensive end, it could help this team. Chris Duarte could be another name. We actually heard a couple of weeks ago that the Knicks already signed Chris Duarte. And then a couple of weeks passed by and they ended up not signing him. definitely someone on their radar. I have heard the Knicks have had conversations with Duarte's representatives, so he could be someone that they do look at. Christian Wood was a name that was mentioned by James L. Edwards, the insider for The Athletic that covers the New York Knicks. Wood is an extremely skilled big man. He's averaged 18 and 10 in this league, but the injuries have really been a roadblock for him over the last couple of years. Unable to stay healthy, and he was waived by the Los Angeles Lakers 2 weeks ago. I know people inside the building of the Dallas Mavericks, and they said he was a pain in the neck to work with. And that's why I think he finds himself outside the NBA at this moment. Another name mentioned by James L. Edwards was Josh Richardson. And I think that he made some good points talking about how he's just a Tom Thibodeau guy, and he is. Energy, effort, can defend multiple positions, but the lack of a three-point shot has seen him fall out of the NBA, I think, a little bit quicker than maybe he anticipated. This is a guy that's been a streaky shooter in the NBA before, and if he could be just a league average player, he could be a guy that could be a part of a rotation. But he hasn't been able to do that in quite some time. A lot of people have hit me up saying, Marshall, what about Victor Oladipo? We did hear some rumors that the Knicks were interested in Oladipo, and they were actually the betting favorites to sign him. I think that could be for next year. I don't know if Oladipo's ready to rock and roll for the remainder of this season. I know this. When the Knicks do sign someone, the first spot you're going to hear about it is on my Twitter, @MarshallGreen_. So hit me up over there. Give me a follow. And if you want more short-form content covering the Knicks and the New York Giants, give me a follow on Instagram. Same handle, @MarshallGreen_. Hit me up, and let's go Knicks.